As a divine feminine, which I've known I was a divine feminine for a long time now and have been on that spiritual journey, I wasn't fully accepting the fact of being in a divine counterpart situation. I didn't understand it. It was coming through really almost distorted, even the messages, so that I could understand what was happening. I didn't know if it was like a twin flame journey. It's hard to say that word because I feel like it's been so distorted. But the truth of the matter is, if you are a divine feminine or divine masculine, if you're a divine counterpart of any sort, doesn't matter your gender, because we all have the same internal energies, you're going to know. To the collective I'm speaking to right now, the one that I'm in sync with, there's some major changes happening within you where you were actually, and I guess for me, it's just been this, I've been restricting my own self. That's what I'm seeing. I've been in a type of fog that clearly had to be worked through because there was so much shadow, dark energy in my own subconscious that I hadn't processed fully. And, we're always processing these things bit by bit to bring some sort of clear sight. Well, that's where we're at right now. We're finally receiving the information clearly. It's starting to, like, every day and every second of the day, actually, in every now moment that you are present, you will start to, there's messages coming in from everywhere. It's a little overwhelming. So keep a journal with you. I would say at all time, like pen and paper, or get in your notes app or something like that, so you can start to understand, because there's nothing more frightening and more confusing than to not understand what is happening to your body, your mind, your soul, your emotions, your life, okay, your 3D external life, because that is a reflection of what is happening within. So there's a clearing out, there's healing that is finally occurring, enough to the point where you're reaching a new level, like a graduation onto the next level. And what the divine feminine is being asked to do completely is to sit in the stillness in order to receive the clarity. It doesn't mean that you have to do that 24/7, like sit in some kind of a bubble and isolate. You still have a life. And that is the integration process. It's all about balance, right? So you give yourself these sacred moments of stillness and honoring when your body is telling you, I'm run down, I have a message coming in, I need you to sleep, I need you to take a nap, we need to do something here. Listen to your body, listen to nature, okay? That's a big one, because if you're a divine feminine, you're going to be in tune with nature's cycles. So as an example, if you go to your neighborhood lake or creek or whatever you got going on your beach, and you see the waters, there's no movement. The water is completely still, and the geese that are sitting in the water are completely still. Nobody's moving, nobody's making, it's like crickets, in the middle of the day or whatever. That would be a 3D external natural sign that the divine feminine would want to decode and interpret as, I'm being asked to hold my stillness right now. This is how you would interpret, decode certain 3D messages you're receiving. Now, as far as the divine masculine is concerned, they are a sacred mirror telling you where you might need to work still. Okay, they're going to throw signs, whether they know they're giving you signs or not. The divine feminine is usually more of the intuitive, but at this point on a journey, the divine masculine's intuition is kicking in. Whether he truly knows it, he should know it by now. He should know that he's quite intuitive because of the mixed energy, the third energy, the sacred heart space, shared energy. But whether he knows he's doing it or not, and whether you know you are doing it or not, you're going to reflect to the other person in your actions where there's still this devilish, shadowy energy that needs to be integrated and looked at. So what I mean by that is, where are you not standing in your power as the divine feminine? If your confidence is shook because of a circumstance, okay, between the two of you, like not all of these situations are cookie cutter, right? Yes, we are in a collective, but that shares very similar paths and patterns. And this is new territory. Like, we are pioneering this new pathway. We're paving a way. This is something that maybe we've done it before in another lifetime, but I don't have much recall on this. So I have no other choice but to listen to my intuition and to listen to my body and to pick up on the intuitive hits that I'm getting, noticing the patterns. And we've literally been restricting ourselves. We're going around in circles with scattered information because we weren't sure how to process it or what it meant. Right now, we're starting to get clarity, and we're being asked to sit in the stillness in order to receive the clarity and then act accordingly, make the certain pivots, the certain tweaks and different, upgrades to our own self. Like, we're being gifted the information in order to attain the things that we're headed for, but we can't hold ourselves back from it either. Like, we have to do something with the information. So not only, like, for me, I've been guided to share some of it, but also, I mean, of course, there's, without a doubt, I also have to process what I'm being shown in my own self, giving myself permission to relax sometimes, giving myself permission to realize just how powerful I am, and to stop pretending like I don't see my own strength or my own beauty or my own divinity and sovereignty. This is something that we have kept hidden because the external world didn't see it. So we figured, okay, well, I guess I was wrong. I'm not who I think I am. But you do know who you are on a soul level, your essence of who you are, and that is a huge test. Are you going to crumble because everything in your external world is looking the opposite? Or are you going to stay strong to your own intuition and to your core essence? That is what is going to propel you on to where you need to be, to the next step. So instead of hiding yourself from the world, which I have done for a long time, I don't even know why. I don't truly. I mean, I know it stems from fears from past life things that we have been through. I understand that. And even also some of the trauma from when I was younger and just throughout my life. It just seemed easier, right? It seemed like the thing to do, to just keep myself quiet so nobody messed with me. Nobody saw that I was different, you see. But we are different, and we're being asked to embrace that and to not introduce it into the world in some kind of egotistical way, right? Like, that's not what it is, but it's just being who you are freely, without apologies, without embarrassment, without trying to keep yourself small or hidden or in the shadows somewhere. We're being asked to step out and accept ourselves and be that person in some way. Share yourself some way. Share your gifts in some way, because that is what keeps the energy flowing is staying in flow, but then also introducing your own internal masculine energy into being productive, into something like the shared energy, using it for good instead of toxicity. You see what I mean? Like instead of falling short and constantly letting yourself down when your internal masculine energy needs to step up to the plate and help you complete a project that you might be working on, anything, okay? It's these baby steps. It's you don't have to reinvent the wheel in one day, okay? It's enjoying the process as it goes, like thoroughly admitting who you are, what journey you're on, and just accepting it. I'm not saying you got to go to the rooftops and scream out, I'm on a twin flame journey. You don't have to do that, but you don't have to. First, you have to accept it for yourself. Are you or aren't you? Be definitive, make some choices, and don't be afraid to be wrong, because none of us have been here before in this lifetime. Like the group I'm connected to, this is new for us. So we should be sharing the information that we have, because that's all we have. I mean, we are definitely tapped in and connected to our higher selves, the universe. There's also information I'm going to put in another video about the 3-eye atlas, because that is greatly connected. If you think that the 3-eye atlas is not a product of what the work that we have been doing as a collective, then think again. Go ahead and look into it, because the 3-eye atlas it's from the shared energy. It is a manifestation of the shared energies. See, because as within, so without, as above, so below. It's a physical manifestation of what these energies are doing. It's taking form, it's taking shape, and we are the microcosm, right? The universe is within us. So if we're bringing energies together within us and learning how to harmonize and learning how to evolve from the toxic masculine and the toxic feminine aspects, and evolving and growing and expanding and embracing and embodying the divine masculine and the divine feminine within us and in the shared heart space container, then it's bound to show up in our external environment. So that's where I'm going to leave this, because that's going to be a different video, because I channeled information from that and I'm still getting different hits on it. I also want to mention, just so everybody knows, the other day I happened to look out my window. It was about 8:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I work from home. I looked out my window, and when I look out my window, I am looking straight to the east. Why did I see a star? Now, there weren't any clouds. It was a little overcast, but there weren't like big puffy clouds, okay? And then the sun was shining brightly. This was a couple days ago. And then all of a sudden I saw a star, the brightest star I have seen in a long time during the day in the eastern sky. Then it disappeared, and I was like, okay, well, where's the clouds? Like, where is this? Where is this going? Like, what was that? And I looked back again about like 7-8 minutes later, and it appeared to me again and then disappeared. So I said a prayer, because I figure, okay, this is also a message. I looked up what the Eastern Star was. I knew that I heard of that before. And I know that they like to talk about it has something to do with the Freemasons and all that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about back in more ancient times, okay? The Freemasons just started in like the 1800s or something like that. I don't know. But this is about, and no, it wasn't Venus, okay? And this was during the daytime. I mean, for me, I knew that was a message, and for me to see it twice. So the Eastern Star being revealed during the day is heralding like new beginnings, hope. It actually back in the day talked about Jesus, that I guess a savior was coming, or Jesus was going to be birthed or something like that. So here's what I'm getting from that. And then I'm going to close this video. I believe that if, this is just metaphorically, if Jesus were to come back, he would need to be in a different energy. Something like that. That type of an energy cannot manifest onto the planet and not get completely swallowed up by darkness, right? Which our planet is looking pretty dark right now in this dimension. But the work that we're doing is what's creating the ley lines. It's upgrading the crystalline ley lines, or the Christ consciousness ley lines of the planet, to increase the frequency so that we could hold that kind of consciousness on the planet once again. Because this is why, but what I truly think is that it's not Jesus coming back in that way or in that form. It's that we are bringing the energy of. So that's why we're doing this. It's being done in a different way, because last time, according to the stories in scripture, he was murdered, for God's sake, after all of his work. Now we know how we manifest from our subconscious minds. I'm sure Jesus has learned along the way that, maybe he didn't do all of his shadow work, because it's about blending the two schools of thought. Right? It's not just one way. It's every way. It is everything coming together and collapsing in on itself to birth something new. And can we hold the space for that? And it's going to take a lot of expansion to hold that kind of frequency. And that's what we're doing. So it's even bigger than this love story, this love that you feel for another and that they feel for you. It is bigger. That's why you may have heard in your past, like double mission. It's because it's all encompassing. And then we have to learn to integrate it and ground it into our physical 3D reality. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is by watching things that aren't part of this plan, letting them go, whether it be careers. I've already left my career. For God's sake, I lost it the first time. I lost my nursing license. Well, I had to put it on inactive status because the dark night of the soul, it was so dark. I got so paranoid that I literally had to forego my license at the time. I was not in the right frame of mind to do all the shadow work and to maintain a nursing career at the time. And then, thank God, COVID came, which I'm not saying thank God, but it extended the unemployment to all, because that's when my unemployment was running out, was right around February of 2020. I lost my job in May of 2019. That's when the new moon of 2019, I think it was like May 3rd or May 4th or something, everything, the floodgates opened. My third eye was blown open further than I think it's ever been. And I was just inundated with information, and ancient information, and scary things, and things that I know I shouldn't have been seeing, and I know, but I was supposed to be, it was to shock me. It literally shocked me back to life. However, because it was so dark, it was so much darkness I had to clear. I wasn't paralyzed, but I was scared. I'm not going to lie. I'm not scared like that anymore. So I'm certain that I cleared away some of that, but I'm still cleaning it up. So there's so much darkness out there, and we are the ones who volunteered before we came here to clear this out of the entire human collective. So it's going to be difficult to hold regular jobs, 9-to-5s, and prosper. So if they are crumbling, if you feel restricted right now, like money wise or whatever, it's not punishment. It's because the universe is trying to close doors so you can see which way you're supposed to go right now. There's going to be like one way to go, and everything else is going to be shut down. It's like this street is do not enter, and this street is do not enter, and this street is do not enter. Everywhere is do not enter, and all of a sudden you're going in circles, and finally you're going to see, oh, this street tells me I can go down it. that's where I'm headed. That must be the street I'm supposed to go down. But it feels extremely restrictive. It feels like we are being stripped of everything, because in a way we are, but it's because we couldn't see clearly before. We couldn't see which way to go. So it had to happen the hard way. So it's about perception. Don't look at it like it's a punishment. You're being redirected now. We are being redirected. We're being given information. So look at it like information, like help, assistance, guidance, divine guidance, instead of punishment, like you did something wrong, because you didn't. We've been doing everything right. It's just we didn't have it organized. We didn't know, we didn't understand. But now we're being given the gift of also consciously understanding a bit better what we are even doing. So that's huge. That shows you that you've done an enormous amount of healing work, and that you're listening to your intuition, whether you know it or not. And that finally something is shifting in the energy and the restrictions will be lifted. It's just you need to go down the path that they are showing you. That is for you. Okay, till next time. I'll be back with more. Bye.